Hello everybody, hi, I'm waving, and welcome to a sketchbook tour. Disclaimers right off the front, I have a bit of a cold, so if my voice sounds weird, sorry. And there's a dishwasher going on in the background, so if you hear that, no you didn't. Welcome to the sketchbook tour. This is my sketchbook 10. I want to showcase my funny stickers. As you can see, there's a lot going on. Love this guy, he's my favorite. Like these ones too. So yeah, let's open it up. So I started this sketchbook in March of 2024 and just finished it in July of 2025. So it took me about a year and a half to get finished. As per usual, the first page is always just color testing because I never like to draw on the first page. I think it's too scary. This is from SVV Art on like Instagram. I bought some stuff from them. They're great. I had to start it off with some Kaya doodles because I didn't know what to draw, and he was my go-to character at the time. I think they're kind of cute. I like them. Let's see. Some of these are a bit older, and I just put them in there. I hope you can kind of see that. There's not a lot to see. Love this guy. Look at him. These are from probably 2023 actually, and then I have lots of figure drawings below. This was definitely the sketchbook where I started to draw figures a lot more, trying to work on more dynamic poses like this one and these ones. It's sort of messy, but drawing in pen kind of does that. More Kaya. It's not ukiyo-e. Is it ukiyo-e? The ukiyo-e painting style of this yokai whose name I have forgotten. I had like a t-shirt of this and I kept the tag, so I did like a really weird watercolor. I never do watercolor, so I thought, why not just go for it. Some more 2023 doodles of this cute like adventure space girl. I think it's just, here, can you see that? There's an astronaut there upside down. Yeah, I'm not gonna show these off because they're not a lot to look at. More figures. We got some Elden Ring in here with the Nox priestess. More figure drawings generally. Figure drawings. This was a very messy time of my life. I just wanted to get something down on paper and move on. Doesn't have to be great so long as I did something. These are definitely Pinterest inspired. I can just tell by the fact that they're actually better drawn. I was really attached to this purple ballpoint pen at the time, as you can tell. More figures. Fish hat. Love that guy. That's awesome. This is Paparadasha from Hoseki no Kuni or Land of the Lustrous. Still very in that phase, as you'll see later. Some weird fan art from Fool Knight. This manga, we'll move on from this. More Elden Ring. I just went back and drew this one. I've been playing a lot of Night Rain. I don't ever play as Wilder, but I thought this pose was cool, so did that just to fill the page. And I like it. I did it just with a ballpoint pen, like freehand, which is easier to do with this kind of pen because you can make a lot of sketchy strokes still, and then you sort of have guidelines. This one you just have to go. So I'm surprised it turned out like pretty okay. Mesmer. You're gonna see Mesmer so much because when this sketchbook was being drawn, like around this time, the Shadow of the Erd Tree DLC for Elden Ring was just coming out, so I was like so into Mesmer. I love that guy. He's such a fun design. Some random Copic portraits. I think I went in with the Copic first and then did the pen, so they're kind of messy. If you can hear the dishwasher in the background, no you cannot. Ignore it, thank you. Yeah. A little sketch from my notebook. This is horrible, I know, but if you've read Brandon Sanderson, there's a scene in like Words of Radiance, which is the second one of the Stormlight archives, where they're like trapped in a chasm with a big centipede guy, and I drew that randomly. It's horrible, but I thought it was funny. More 2023 doodles. Mononoke. Woo! Here, can I take this off? Eee, I'm scared. Okay. Can you see? Are you seeing? Yeah, these are kind of fun. I like this. This paper was actually really good for drawing, even though it's just like notebook paper. Here's the back side with some more faces. This is, I think, the first time I kind of got going with the ballpoint pen instead of pencil for drawing. So, yeah. At this point, I was focusing on face angles. There's L question mark? L from Death Note. Everyone else is just nobody, I think. Some angels. Here, let me change the angle. I think that's kind of cool. I don't really draw characters with wings that often, and it's a cool pose. Am I centered up? Yeah. More face angles. I have a lot of sketchbook pages filled here with writing because this was the sketchbook where I decided to become a YouTuber. Woohoo! And so a lot of it was like me trying to find my way through my art and what I want to do with art. And so this is the first page of that with finding my art style. I talked about what inspires me, Elden Ring, fantasy, dark fantasy, Suishida, who made Tokyo Ghoul, what media I like to use, which is digital art mainly, pen, pencil, Copic occasionally, what I feel confident in, poses, faces, rendering faces, what I want to improve on, color theory, haven't gotten there yet, creating finished pieces, check, expressions, so side profiles. As you can see, I focus on those immediately here. More side profiles. I really struggle with making unique noses, so I'm glad I took the time to do this here. And also with the eye shape. I'm still not that good at this. I should probably go back to this, honestly. More here. This, just trying it out. Doesn't have to be perfect. Like most things, it's practice, so if it's bad, you get better over time. More poses. This was a redrawing of an OC that I had forever ago. I'll post a picture, it's right there. Yeah, I don't really love her. She's watermelon themed, and that is very much giving 16-year-old me not having any ideas of what to do. So, yeah. More poses, more expressions. This is definitely Anthony Mackie. I can just tell. So I guess that's cool. I made a recognizable face there. More poses. My mom got me these little pill bottle poems. So you open the pill and you unroll it. So sometimes when I have free space in my sketchbooks, I just like to throw them in there. Some Yotsuba drawings. I love Yotsuba. She's so funny. And then I think from here is sort of the turning point of where I decided to become a YouTuber low-key. So you can see the preliminary sketches of my Sona here. But I remember this drawing. I was drawing Ruby from Ruby. And I was watching a video by Prickly Alpaca, who's my biggest art inspiration. God, I want to eat her art. I want to put it into pill form and just take it every morning so I am good at art. But I was watching a video of hers and drawing this, and I was like, I should do a YouTube video. I should create character designs online. So this was even though this is not a character design that I created, it's just a very formative piece for me, so I'll always remember that. And then here I was like, well, I need a Sona. So what should my Sona look like? And I went through a bunch of iterations. This guy kind of survived. These ones survived. They're pretty much the prototypes of the ones I have now. This is funny. Maybe I'll go back to that. And then here we go. YouTube me. Here I decided to make a YouTube channel, which is kind of crazy, but I did it. What month was this? May sometime? April, May. Yes, May. So for planning my channel, I needed to make a Sona. I needed to make thumbnails, make an outro, just as a general, every video needs to have these things, at least in my opinion, so that's what I had. I had some speed paints for Kaya and Vampire Diluc AU that I made years ago. And then I wanted to make new speed paints of the Sona drawings that I created, which are on my channel. Maybe scan in some traditional sketches and color them over, which I didn't do. Going through old digital art and commentary, which I have done, sketchbook tours. Yeah. And then I didn't write it here, but I did a lot of character designs, as you'll see coming up. Throwaway page. These are just some fantasy random things that I wanted to, I just wanted to fill a page for this one, but I'm not so good with faces. I always do faces last, and sometimes it really screws me over, because then things like this happen. Yay! These are my first 2 OCs that I designed for my channel. This is the Lilac character, this is the Iris character. I don't know why her head is like, you know, falling off the page there. But yeah, I just like sat down and was like, I want to sketch a cool, pretty woman, and then I did. And it's based off flowers. So here's that, and that turned out to be the first OC of my channel, so that's cool. And then I went in for the second one. I wanted a more dynamic pose with this angle of the head, which, oh my god, so hard. And it was fun drawing the irises in more detail here, because then I got to try to incorporate these shapes in the skirt here and in the sort of like ruffly skirt here as well, and then the cape. So overall, I'm still very attached to these 2 designs. I actually just, in a new sketchbook, tried to redesign her, so maybe you guys will get to see that soon. We'll see. Some more random sketches. I like this one a lot. This was definitely a Pinterest-inspired drawing. I could just tell. Spider Lily character, who's the 3rd in this flower series. This was much more of a messy sketch because I had a better idea going in what I wanted to do, so I didn't really feel the need to, I don't know, flesh it out as much. Though the actual shapes of the spider lilies were so hard to draw, so I kind of did struggle with that. By the way, I guess I'll throw up the final versions here as well for each of them, so you can see the sketch to final. I think that'll be kind of cool. Oh, Elden Ring! I love this spread so much. I'm just very attached to Elden Ring in general, and I really love all the character designs. Obviously, we have one page dedicated to Mesmer because he's such a cool character, and his design with the snake hat, snake helmet, and everything is so cool. But there's also like even just the enemies, like this snail with the, is it a snail? It's a snail with the skull instead of like a shell. And then these like imps. This guy, I forget his name. Gold Mask, obviously. Hoslow mask guy, and then just a random sentinel. I just love all the designs. I think they're really cool. So I'm glad I got to do this one. This was a very fun spread for me. There's a lot of note-taking here, as you can see. Part of this is for the Moonflower character that I designed. Final version here! Wow, editing is magic, isn't it? And then some ideas. Once I finished the flower series, I wanted to do some like Pinterest-inspired stuff, some landscape practice, filming traditional sketchbook tours, and art fight. So it's been a year since that happened, because I'm currently in art fight now, and I'm not really working on it that much, I'm sorry. But as for the landscape practice, I took notes here, and then painted some landscapes based off that. Read them if you want, pause it and read them. I don't want to go through that, it's boring. Or watch the video that I shout out in that landscape video. I don't know, maybe I'll post it here. Maybe you have to go look for it. T-3 days until Elden Ring. Woohoo! An emergency, because clearly I was sick then and I'm kind of sick now, and I always pound emergency when I'm sick. That's funny. Wow. Yeah, sometimes the sketches just aren't there and you just gotta move on. Here was the Elden Ring inspired character design series that I started with this guy, Talon. Honestly, I don't love this design. The proportions, even in the original, are just weird. The pose is kind of boring. I think I could have done better, and I have done better. Some naming stuff that I like to use. I just like combine things from these lists and make a cool name. Another character design I created for the Elden Ring series. This one was much more fun because I like the mask. Creating masks is fun. I had a more dynamic pose. It's very, I don't know, scrungly, tense. I don't really know how to explain that. But I had a lot more fun with that. And going in with the little details like, oh, this pauldron would look like this mask would look like that, this hand would look like that. So kind of focusing in on the smaller details, that was a lot of fun. This guy, another Elden Ring character design, and this drawing I found in another notebook that I thought was so funny that I just absolutely had to throw in. I think it's funny that they have like a very similar pose, so they work well next to each other. Some portraits, Willem Dafoe, some random people. This was another character design for a redraw of some characters I had in like 2018. Her name is Chalice and his name is Vesh. More on Vesh, so I had like the poses that I wanted to do, but then I sort of had to break it down into how the outfit would look straight on, otherwise I wouldn't be able to draw it. So here's more of Vesh with the boots. Eyes that I could do for the mask. I think I just went with plain in the end. The hair. And then here's another character design for Senev, who I love. I love him so much. The main outfit, what the hat could look like, possible facial features. I really like this one more. I ended up going more with this style, but I don't know. I think this is just like a better drawing generally, so I wish I had gone with this. Oh well. More poses, drawing ideas that I didn't deal with. For a while I toyed with the idea of drawing myself into the Stormlight Archives, which is a book by Brandon Sanderson, a book series. So I was thinking of like which land I would be from, like what clothes that I would wear, what my spren would be, which surge binding I would have. If you haven't read these books, these things make no sense to you. But generally, I wanted to look like this, and I wanted my spren to look like this. And then here's more of the spren. I didn't really go into it. I don't know why I wanted the rooster cane. Why did I do that? So yeah, I never finished this because I kind of got burned out with the idea, and I didn't really speak to me that much, so I just kind of moved on. More character designs. This is from Pinterest, just like a cool charm that I created a character based off of. And the original, the final looks like this, which is nothing like this. They don't look similar whatsoever. I don't even know how these two things like became what it became, but whatever. Color. These are the pages I put behind pages to protect the lower pages from Copic markers, so that's nice. More Sona designs. This was for Halloween, so I wanted like a cat mage, a rogue, a magical girl. I didn't end up finalizing them. I think I did stream these two, but I never really finished up with them. For a while, I also toyed with making a tarot series of based off Elden Ring. Can you tell I love Elden Ring? This is the Elden Ring sketchbook. So I wanted to draw Mesmer with, where is he? Mesmer, hello, Mesmer, with Justice, and like the scales with the spear. This is like a good idea, but I couldn't figure out the right pose or the right like head angle, so I kind of just scrapped it. Some League of Legends skins. I don't care for that game. I do love Arcane, but these skins are so cool and the character designs are so cool, so I just went on the website one time and just drew some. Vi and Jinx in other cool skins. I love them. Here's also Jinx that I never finished. This was the time I was kind of going through it with finals and stuff, and I was really burned out, so it was really hard for me to open my sketchbook and even make something like this. But, sometimes I tried harder than that. Can I show this? I'll censor that. These little guys I like to put in the back of my phone case I think I have some right now too. This is the one currently in my phone case, but I just ripped it up because I duct taped my phone to the to the mic stand so that I could film this video. Oops. But yeah, I like to make these every so often and put them in my phone case, and then once they're done, I put them in a sketchbook. These are based off a set of tarot cards I have. I don't do anything with the tarot cards, I just like to look at the designs, so here are the designs. This was me planning for my new phone case, stickers, Peach Riot blind box that I don't love, sketch from really recently actually, June, from some notes that I took. This is from Marvel Rivals, Scarlet Witch, and it's horrible. I don't love this. Moving on. This is when I made those folklore characters here. And I only ended out drafting this one because I thought this one would be the hardest to make, so I actually like colored it and everything, and I just so happened to have these colors of Copic markers with me, so I just did that. Some things from when I lived in Tokyo. What is this? Tokyo Sea Life Park, like the ticket. I don't know if you can tell real well, but it's like you stamp it so that some parts of the paper stick out. And then here's the ticket. It was the 35th anniversary when I went. The penguins were so cute. We got to see them feed the penguins. I'll put some pictures up right here. Just a sketch. I remember really struggling with what to draw here, so I just went on Pinterest and drew this guy. And it turned out pretty good, actually, surprisingly. Ooh. Can I don't know. I don't think they'll still fit in the screen, so I'll do one at a time. So here's the top. I just took a lot. I draw a lot in notes for class, especially this class. This class was so boring, and the teacher was a weirdo. So I drew a lot, and then I just cut them out and put them into my sketchbook, like so. The other cat mage. I really like this. Let me. Oh. Okay, I really like this one. I was thinking of Practical Guide to Evil. Is that what it's called? The web serial. And just like the skull armor, like very evil antagonist archetype of character. So that's how that came out. For a while I was playing with some Zelda illustrations that I wanted to do based off Skyward Sword because it's my favorite one, and it was like Zelda looking at the goddess shrine and then Link looking at the goddess shrine, and then it would be like Zelda looking back slightly, Link looking forward, all the imagery you need, etc. I made some stickers for my friends when I left Japan. So I only had 6 colors, so I had to choose wisely which colors I would give them. Some anatomy. This guy, love this guy, it's so silly. Kendo mask. More anatomy. An omikuji from Meiji Jingu in Shibuya? Shinjuku? I don't know. This was my train stop in Tokyo when I lived there, and this was the last day that I lived there, so I guess I was writing a little journal. I'm not gonna read it. If you speak Japanese and there are typos in here, shut up. I don't want to know. Some fashion with Copic markers again, but I fucked up all the heads, so I just covered them in stickers. This was when I was thumbnailing for that Land of the Lustrous illustration I did. So I had to, because it was a really, really long canvas, I had to go from like the hands down to the face, because it goes down like that. I wanted to draw fan art for Pale Lights, which is another web serial by the same person who wrote Practical Guide to Evil, of Angarad, because I think she's really cool, and like possible, like what her physique looks like, what her outfit could look like, her face. I never finished it, but I think this is a good portrait. Some Arcane fan art. Of course I messed up the face, so I had to redo it. I think Echo looks great though. I think this was a really good drawing for me for once. these guys. I think, what was I? Somehow I was like looking at circles on the other side and I just, yeah, okay. This is when I added more expressions to my sonas. This one, this one, this one, and this one pretty much are all one-to-one of the ones that I ended up adding. More anatomy. I thought this was fun. I saw this like poncho cape, I don't know what this is called, on Pinterest, and I thought the shapes of it was really cool, so I wanted to draw what it might look like in a bunch of different poses and how it would look. I think these two are the originals, and then these other three I just kind of thought of myself. These are the thumbnails for the two Madoka pieces I just made. I had to go through like a lot of iterations because this was not a style that I ever do, and I had to think of all the little elements that I wanted to add. So they're really messy, but I needed to do so many of them. And then all the little Madoka iconography, like the soul gems. They're not really soul gems, but the magical girl gems, and then Cube, Charlotte, etc. This was a character design I made for a commission, just like the initial sketch. I thought I'd cut it out and add it. Oh, this, we don't need to worry about that. This is a fantasy map I drew for questionable book that I'm writing. And the premise of the world building, at least, even though most people in the book don't know it, is that the continent is built on the body of a dead god. And so you can see this is like the sword cut that killed the god. And then there are skeletons just like laying, and some of the land masses have stayed to the contour of the body, not entirely. And that all the underground spaces, or the deep spaces in the continent, are sort of cursed because it's in the body of a god. That seems kind of sacrilegious, like maybe the god doesn't want you there. So that's kind of the world building that I was going for. Non-gendered childhood. My friend drew this for me. Isn't that awesome? She just came up to me and she was like, I have something for you. And she just pulled this out of her pocket. So, of course, I had to add it. These are thumbnails from the Nausicaa drawing I did. They're really messy, and it was just like to show depth. I ended up going with none of these, question mark? I don't know, actually. I think maybe this one. It's like this way. It's the up is that way, but I don't want to tilt the page. We'll continue on that in a second. This was like the poses that I wanted to do for Nausicaa. I went with this one in the end, and then the little bug creatures that I wanted to add. This was a insomnia night that I had, and I don't even know, like, can I show that? Should I censor that? It got weird. More insomnia night of me sitting in front of my desk. It was near finals and I was just kind of dying, so I did that little doodle. More of those little poems that my mom got me. This Etsy store, I just bought like a cute cat, like a little ring jar with a cat at the bottom from this person, so I thought their sticker was cute. Ronnie, I drew this in class, like my last day of class. And the guy next to me was like, whoa, did you draw that? And I was like, yeah, you're literally watching me do it right now. Nothing here. Should I rotate it again? Let's go one at a time. So this is Death from Castlevania. I have the Castlevania art book, so I basically just wanted to see if I could draw in 2 pages. And I think it turned out pretty well. Obviously the markers are really streaky because I didn't decide to blend them or choose colors that match better together. But I think it's like fun. I got to fill 2 pages with it, so I'm glad. This is an art fight design that I'm doing right now, actually, for Iska 48S, question mark? I don't know if I'm gonna have time to finish the design, but this is the pose I want. These are the outfits that they provided. It's very cool design. If you're not doing art fight, you should do art fight if you're an artist. It's great. And then the final, is this the final? Yeah, basically final page of my sketchbook. I designed these little guys for my friend for her birthday. The same friend who so kindly drew me non-gender childhood, that friend. So these were the drafts, and then I made other ones and then cut them out, laminated them so she can put them in her phone case or whatever. And more pen testing. So yeah, that is the end of this sketchbook. There was a lot less finished work in here because it was more for me to plan YouTube videos. So it would go here, very sketchy, and then onto my computer with digital art, much more finished. But overall, I'm really happy with the sketchbook. For one thing, it was huge. So I had a lot more opportunities to fill pages than I usually do. And I tried a lot of new things, so overall, really happy with this one. I want to show off my next sketchbook real quick because it's really pretty. This is a Moseri sketchbook, which I've had in the past. I'll throw up the name of this artist who designed this cover. I think it's so beautiful, so unfortunately I can't put stickers on it, but yeah, get excited for sketchbook 11 here. I'll finish it in like a year or so. And this was sketchbook 10. So I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for dealing with the weird shit that I have in here occasionally. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.